Good, good. How are you?
That's good. That's good. I'm very good. Thank you. So it's recording, so we could just go ahead and start, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special guest with me, Natasha Collins. She is one of my mentees. She's actually in my mentorship program. So I asked her to give me a little bit of her time out of her schedule so that we could sit down and just talk about like what her experience has been like as a notary and as one who has actually enrolled into the mentorship program. So she agreed. So here she is. So I'm gonna just ask her to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha Collins, as Leah has already stated, one of her mentees, and grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Leah, for having me today.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you. So first of all, tell everybody what state you live in.
I'm in New York State.
Okay, she's in New York. And where were you in your loan signing agent journey before actually enrolling in the program? So just tell us a little bit about your, background, your experience.
I was just getting, as I enrolled in the mentee program, I was just getting started. I thought about doing it like on my own, but I figured I should have somebody, on my team that could assist me, through the process of being a new loan signing agent. And I'm glad I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was just getting started. So I guess that was no signings that you had?
0 signings. That is correct.
Okay, all right. So how soon was it before you actually got your first assignment?
It was a couple of weeks. I received my commission the second week in March, and I received my first signing the end of April.
Okay, all right, very good. So a couple
Mhm.
of weeks before you actually got your first assignment.
Yeah.
So do you do loan signing full time? Are you part time? Do you do it sometimes? Tell us about how your schedule goes.
My schedule is mostly when I can. If I can fit it in, I will do it. But if I can't, I just won't do it. So I guess that's like a per diem type of thing, not necessarily part-time, but not necessarily full-time either, of course, but just when I can do it.
Okay, so outside of your life as a loan signing agent, and I'm asking this because I want the audience to be able to actually find some point of relation to you.
Mhm.
So outside of your notary life, right?
Mhm.
Tell us what your life is like. Do you work somewhere? Do you work part-time? Do you have children? Like, what is that like?
I work full-time, 7 to 3 right now. I have an 18-year-old that just graduated high school and will be going on to college. So that's a transition in itself. So that's a, busy time there. I do have a 13-year-old special needs son. So that's a busy time as well. My husband works overnight. So our schedules are all over the place and very,
Wow.
very hectic. So trying to fit in, the signings can be a little cumbersome, but again, I do it when I can do it. And if I can't, I just can't.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. So you have like quite a full plate. And I learned a couple of pieces of information about you that I simply did not know before.
Hmm.
So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
So as far as like, tell us about your experience of getting your first signing. How did that go for you? How were you feeling afterward? Were you pumped and just like ready to like tear up these notary streets or what? What was happening?
When I first received the assignment, I was very, I guess, shocked that I received it.
Mhm.
I know people say that, sometimes they kind of comb through to see if you're qualified to actually take the signing and to successfully do it. So when I received it, I had immediately called you or texted you, I remember, and you
Mhm.
did walk me through the documents. And afterward, I was, I think I was more nervous and anxious that I did something wrong. But again,
Mhm.
talking to you after the signing as well, you told me that I didn't do anything wrong based on the information I gave to you. And I was ready for the next one because it did seem like something that I could do. It was an attainable goal for me, something that I could achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that's a pretty normal reaction, especially if you have not worked in a related industry where you're like, okay,
Right.
I've been a notary for 5 years, or I've been working with loan documents for X amount of time. So I
Right.
think that's pretty normal. And
Hmm.
a lot of the times, like a mistake can actually be made. And if
Hmm.
a mistake is made, my thought process is, correct that mistake and move forward.
Right.
So I remember when you got your first assignment, and
Hmm.
then, we have weekly sessions, which you're
Hmm.
still in the program. You haven't
Yes.
finished the program yet. So
Yep.
we have weekly sessions. And I remember specifically on that session, the next session, you was like, I have not. I've been getting notifications, Leah, and I have said no to all of them, or you ignored all of them,
Yes.
something like that. Either way, the
Hmm.
result was the same. You know, you wasn't even
Yes.
having it, you wasn't going out, right?
Yep.
So like a whole week had passed. And
Yep.
do you remember something that I told you in that session, besides saying, okay, you probably didn't do anything wrong? What did I tell you to like that was actual tangible advice to help like ease your nerve, to calm you down?
I don't remember exactly verbatim what you said, but what I took away from what I remember is that you told me that the time that I wasted, basically, I could have been using that time to, actually study more and to get more assignments to learn from, basically. And I felt like an idiot afterward, but
No.
I did pick back up, and I took your advice, and it did help, because we're not gonna be perfect in this loan signing. As much as we want to be, as much as I want to be, you're not gonna hit every signature and every initial. So that's something that, when you told me that, I'm like, well, yeah, I wasted time, and I allowed fear to dictate my path from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I really try to be like, direct so that you really
Hmm.
get the point of the call, not try to like beat around the bushes. Like, but
Right.
that would in keeping your dignity intact. I try,
Hmm.
I try my absolute best to
You
do that
you were
because
fine.
I need someone to talk direct to me, like tell me what it is
Yeah.
that you're saying, but
Yep.
don't make me feel like a mushroom on the ground when you say it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I know how sometimes we could internalize things and be like, you know what, that I could have done that. But yeah,
Yep.
that's the point I wanted to like bring out. Like you
Hmm.
had fear and it kind of paralyzed you because you were
Yep.
getting notifications and those notifications were not being fulfilled by you. And
Yep.
I remember specifically saying, if you feel like you made a mistake, you could just pick up the phone and call them. Hey, I did that signing.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So simple,
Yep.
right? Like I did
Yep.
this signing for you all. I
Hmm.
just wanted to know, was everything great? I really
Right.
care about the work that I do and I try to put out quality work. Was everything
Yep.
okay with the signing? And I
Yeah.
think that sometimes we look at signing services and title companies as these big, giant, you know,
Like these
conglomerate
deities.
things,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
we don't even realize that we are talking to another person. So
Yes.
like that's the biggest takeaway, that was the biggest takeaway for me is like, hey, we're dealing with people. You're a person, relationship building is
Exactly.
extremely important. And it's a perfect
Yes.
time to start to build a relationship with that scheduler, right? So
Yep.
that was good. And after we talked, then it was
Hmm.
like no stopping from there. So tell us what your
Right.
life has been like after that, because week one had that assignment, right?
Yep.
Dormant for a whole week.
Yeah.
And I think the
Yes.
very next day you had
Hmm.
another assignment. So tell us like
Yeah.
what your schedule has been like. How have you been able to fit these assignments in? What have you learned from the assignments?
I've been using my vacation time at work, flexing my lunch hour, to be able to leave early. Um, I've been doing just what I know I can do right now. I haven't really gotten into changing the times with the signer directly. Actually, I did one past couple of days. I was able to change the time and let the signing service know, and they were okay with it. So I've just been doing what I can do, asking for forgiveness and not permission, like you said,
Yeah,
Leah, and just
I'm big on
being
that.
the exact being being the boss of my business, just doing what I know I can do, within my parameters. And my schedule has been busy for me. For some people, it may not seem busy, but with work, kids, and home stuff, it's been busy for me.
Wow,
So, and
wow.
I'm grateful for it.
Yes, yes, because you share with me early on in our sessions, what is your
Hmm.
why? And
Yes.
do you feel like it's really important to revisit that why? Because I mean, it's not a walk in the park. We're not about to sit in
No.
front and act like it's a walk in the park because
Right.
you share what your life is like. You have two children who one
Yep.
of them are going through a major transition in life.
Yes.
Your husband works the opposite schedule of you. You
Yep.
work full time. You have a
Yep.
13-year-old.
Hmm.
That's a ton already, right? So
Yes.
it's no
Yep.
like, it's not like a walk in the park, like doing this notary
Yeah.
signing business. So your why was, like I wanted to know what was your reason getting into this business? What is your why,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
you shared that with me. So have you had to revisit the reason why you're doing this occasionally?
Every day. Every day. Every single day. I have to
Yeah.
remind myself, like, you're doing this for, you're doing this now there's a greater purpose. Even if I
Right.
don't do loan signing for the rest of my days, I know that loan signing is going to be the stepping stool to my next thing, whatever
See,
that next
I
thing
love that.
is.
I love
So
that. I
yeah,
absolutely love that.
yeah.
So tell me about some of the the mindset shifts that you have experienced. Like just talk to me about that as free or as reserved as you want to.
That has been a major transition, not just in my loan signing business, in my life as a whole. And I've always known that, whatever you think is what the outcome can be and things of that nature. I've always known that. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been centered around, the Bible and Christ and Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But to hear you say it and to actually see it, take root in me is
Mm-hmm.
something that I've never experienced before. On Friday, I had two signings and I received a notification for a last minute one for 7 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do all of this. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to work itself out. And
That's
it
right.
did exactly that. One
Amazing.
was one was rescheduled and not by me, but by the title company. And the
Mm-hmm.
other one was just moved around. Everything worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so this is the mindset work that Leah talks about, because
Yeah.
I believe that it would work, and it actually did.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And that's the thing that's so important. And another thing that I always talk to you and everyone else in the mentorship
Hmm.
program is finding ways to say yes to yourself. Because
Yes.
what I have found is like sometimes, we are transitioning from like being an employee and
Hmm.
we are now owning our own business, right?
Right.
And sometimes like that shift of mind is a little bit difficult to make because when you are on the clock with someone
Yes.
at a job and there you hit a roadblock or you hit a brick wall with something, it's
Yep.
just really easy to say, we can't do this. I
Right.
tried this and it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work, and that's it.
Yep.
But like in order to really soar in this
Hmm.
business, it's really important to shift your mind from being a employee to being a business owner because of the fact that we will have roadblocks, not being
Hmm.
negative. I mean, this is a real thing. There will be
Right.
times where we have scheduling issues or will be times when we feel like we let that negative Nancy in our head, like kind of like take over things. There will be lots of different roadblocks. You might be comparing
Right.
yourself to someone else. And
Hmm.
so, or you may have had a relationship with the signing service that you've established. That relationship may go sour, right? So they may have been giving you the bulk of your business. So we will have all sorts of roadblocks that come into play. So
Right.
instead of being like, okay, well, no, I can't do it, and just surrendering to the robot block, I always encourage you to say yes to yourself.
Hmm.
Yes, how can I make this work? And think of other possibilities. So that's why the mindset work is so important because I feel
Yeah.
like, no, it's not a magic charm or anything like that. I do not believe in magic nor luck or anything
Right.
of that nature. But
Exactly.
it's just like it opens you up to the possibility. So doing that mindset work helps you open up to the possibility of what you can possibly do. And you get in the
Exactly.
habit of saying yes to yourself more, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's absolutely
Hmm.
wonderful. So would you recommend the mentorship program to someone?
Most definitely. Anybody who who wants to do loan signing and is a little shaky about it, sign up for Leah's mentoring, because she'll walk you through. She'll look at the documents with you, show you give you different pointers. It's an awesome program, and she's always available anytime. I
I
definitely
know.
recommend for
People be like, "How
anybody
are
you
you
need.
available? How are you
Right.
available, child? Don't worry about what me and my business, because that's my business."
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, so I really do my best to like structure my personal schedule
Yep.
along with my other businesses so that I do have availability for, the people that I'm actually mentoring. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really important to me. So that's what I was going to ask you about. Have you felt like you've gotten the support that you needed?
Most definitely. I don't know where I would be in my business if I did not sign up for the mentorship. I mean, I know eventually I would have gotten there, but I don't think I would have been able to make the strides that I have so far without the mentorship program, Leah, honestly. And I really appreciate your help.
Yes, I appreciate you. I don't know how many more weeks we have left, but
Hmm.
I enjoy you. I enjoy our one-on-ones together. I
Yeah.
enjoy them tremendously. So,
Yeah.
I always feel like when we disconnect our Zoom meeting, that I know that you are going to actually put into effect the things that we talk about. So
Yep.
let's just kind of explore that for a bit. The
Mhm.
mentorship program is not a magic charm either, is it?
Right. No.
Right. Because
Right.
this is completely an action-based business. So like
Yep.
I can give you guidance and I
Mhm.
could show you the way and I could show you other possibilities and explain different things to you and offer
Mhm.
all sorts of stuff like that. But if we disconnect our Zoom meetings and
Mhm.
you do absolutely nothing, I mean, what's going to happen?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing is gonna happen.
Right, right.
Yep.
Or if you find yourself executing um in your own way, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So, my question is, okay, so why are we in the program? You know what I mean? If you're
Right.
if you're not ready to like execute, right?
Right.
So
Yep.
like it's so important. It's just I think that sometimes, and I've been guilty of this like in the
Mhm.
past, when I was first, going into entrepreneurship. I would
Mhm.
see a program that I was interested in, and without even really discerning if it was a good fit for me, I'm like, okay, credit card,
Right.
expiration
Yep.
date, boom, bought
Yep.
it. And now it's like a sigh of relief, like
Mhm.
the money is about to flow, it's about to
Yeah.
come to me, right?
Yep.
But that just was not true. So I
Mhm.
had to really learn two things. Number one, Leah, do you have room to do what the things that they're telling you to do?
Right.
Because like the program might be great, it might be a perfect fit for you, but is it the right time in your life right now? Right.
Mhm.
So if you have a bunch of competing priorities, so let's say you're working on this business idea and you have this huge project at work that's going to take the next 2 months, and
Mhm.
you may have I don't know, something else that you're studying for, some other ambition that you have. It's all good and fine, but it doesn't mean that this is the right time for you to enter. So that's what I had to
Right.
learn. Like,
Mhm.
do you actually have the time to put into this, right? And so that kind
Right.
of goes back to my why. How bad do you want it? Because
Mhm.
sometimes the answer is no, I don't have the time. But
Right.
then on the other side of the things, it's like, okay, if you don't have the time, why do you want to do this? And
Right.
can you make the time? Can you take time out from something else, right?
Mhm.
Something else, right? So the other
Yep.
thing that I had to learn is just because you align yourself with someone does not mean that the money is going to come to you.
True.
Like the
Yep.
money comes to you through actions. So
Mhm.
I know I can remember logging into our sessions with you and you were like, Leah, yeah, I had 3 signings and I did this and I did that. I'm like, what? I knew nothing about those signings. And this was
Right.
pretty early on. I didn't know anything about those signings. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, that's exactly what I want, because I want to provide the tools to be there to support, but I want
Mhm.
everyone to understand that they are fully capable, that they
Right.
can't execute these things, and that I am here if you absolutely like need me. I am here. And I think that based off of your comment
Yeah.
before, you feel that way, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I think that's amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I think you are a rock star. I think that
Oh,
you
thank
have
you.
done exceptionally well,
Thank you.
hitting your monthly goals. And then I don't know how close you are right now, but the month is not up yet. So when we have our session on Tuesday, we'll be able to,
Mhm.
like lay those numbers out and see what they look
Yeah.
like. So is there any one piece of advice that you would give to anyone that has been the most instrumental in helping you, to like manage your schedule or to assess if you're going to do a signing? Is there any one piece of advice that you would give?
I guess the piece of advice I would give is to just do it. Just do
Mm-hmm.
it and make it work for you,
Mm-hmm.
and do your best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's so great. Well, I greatly appreciate you
No
sitting down and
problem.
talking to me. And I'll see you on Tuesday. But we're going to
Yes.
say bye to everybody in YouTube land.
Yep.
Guys, we really appreciate you watching this video. And Natasha, go ahead and shout out your company name. If you have an established company, let them know who you are, what people you serve, and what community. Go ahead and shout them out.
My company is NAC Notary Solutions, and again, I'm here in New York State, primarily in Monroe County. So I'm here. If anybody wants to reach out, I'm here for any questions. If anybody has any questions, if you're in New York State and just need a little assistance or a little push, I'm here to help.
Yes, because you actually do general notary work too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so both
Yep.
full circle
Yep.
notary. I
Yep.
love it. Okay, well, we
All
are going to
right.
sign off and I
All
will talk
right.
to you Tuesday,
All
okay?
right. Thank you,
All
Leah.
right, bye bye.
Bye bye.